In this episode, you'll discover my top 5 Big Island experiences that are totally worth it. Talking about free and paid options. So this list is for all budget types. All of these experiences are definitely worth it when visiting the Big Island of Hawaii. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best. I'm Bryan Murphy, Hawaii destination expert and your personal guide to planning an unforgettable trip to Hawaii. So I've been to Big Island with my family. We've done the long drives. It is a long drive getting over from Kona where we'll stay and then over to Hilo and then stood at the crater, done the lookouts, all the things. Some of it has lived up to its hype for sure. And some of it, honestly, it didn't. And some things we wouldn't do again. I'll be sharing some of that with you today. And I'm going to be giving you the honest version of it all, stuff that we have liked and maybe some stuff that I've done and my family, we've done, maybe we haven't liked, but maybe you'll like it. So I'm going to be giving you a fair assessment of our experiences and what you can expect. So you can, show up knowing exactly what to expect and actually enjoy the experience instead of chasing something that may or may not live up to the hype. So by the end of this episode, you're going to know which 5 experiences that are worth your time, which ones come with zero cost, and what you need to know going in so you're not caught off guard. So experience number 1, it's no surprise. It is Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. And this national park has been in the headlines for a couple of years now with some incredible eruptions. And I want to be upfront with you before you get too excited about this because our experience, we drove out from Kona, and that's about a 2.5 hour drive each way, depending on when you leave and how many pit stops along the way with kids. We did a couple. And when we got there, we saw light plumes of smoke rising from the crater. So there wasn't any lava flowing, no dramatic fountains or anything like that, no glowing orange rivers of fire, just steam, some sulfur smell, and a whole lot of hardened black rock. And it was hot. Not the rock. Of course, I'm sure the rock was hot, but it was just hot out because it was just hot. My honest take on it all is I'm not exactly sure that we would do the same drive again. It would take our 16-year-old and our 13-year-old a lot of convincing to do that drive again. Our 10-year-old might be up for it, but I just don't think the next time we're on the Big Island, we're going to be doing Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. But having said all that, it can still be a great trip over there. It was for us in hindsight. There are some things that we got to experience, like walking through the Thurston Lava Tube, which is a 500-year-old tunnel carved by lava that once moved at like some 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It is pretty cool when you're walking through it. It's nice and cool. That area of the park is a really cool walk. Definitely want to check out the Thurston Lava Tube. You can also drive the Chain of Craters Road, which we did. It's about 11 miles, ancient lava flows winding down the Pacific, and that part is totally worth it. But here's what you really need to understand going into it is that Kilauea is one of the, if not the most active volcano on the planet. And as of April of 2026, it's been erupting episodically. So episode 44 is what they're calling it, just went off on April 9th with the whole pomp and circumstance of lava fountains reaching over 500 feet. Incredible. I would just love to see that. And as of right now, episode 45 is forecasted really any day now. So you might get there on an incredible day. If you do, and if there is an active episode happening, you just want to plan for that because it's going to be a lot more busy. Or you might see exactly what we saw and some plumes of smoke. And both are real options. This is not a theme park ride. This is Mother Nature. She does not run on our or your vacation schedule. And if you go in expecting a guaranteed lava show, you're honestly setting yourself up for some disappointment. So it's definitely worth doing at least once is what I tell a lot of my clients that I have for vacation planning. Do it at least once. Go into it with an open mind. Let it be what it is. And if you're staying on Hilo side, even better. It's a much easier trip, about 45 minutes from Hilo versus the 2.5 hours or so from Kona. Entrance into the park is $30 per vehicle. It's valid for 7 days. No reservation. quick break from today's episode. Don't worry, this isn't a sponsored ad, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to say thank you for listening. If this podcast has been helpful for you at all, hitting follow on your podcast app is the best way to support it. It's free, and it helps more people plan better Hawaii trips. Thanks again for listening, and let's get back to today's episode. Needed. All right, number 2 is manta ray night snorkeling off the Kona coast. So here's how this works. You go out after dark on a boat, you get into the water with a flotation board and it lights up underneath. And those lights attract microscopic plankton, and the plankton attracts manta rays. And then these massive creatures with wingspans up to some like 16 feet start doing slow barrel rolls directly underneath you as they're feeding, and you'll be safe. And before you let yourself go there, manta rays have no stingers, no barbs, no teeth. They're completely harmless. You're floating above one of the most honestly graceful animals in the ocean. 2 operators at the established feeding sites near Ke'au Bay consistently report around a 90% success rate for sightings. So it's not guaranteed. Again, it's still, you're dealing with nature, but the odds are very much in your favor. You want to budget between 80 and 130 or so per person, depending on the tour operator. So you definitely want to book ahead, but this is one of those experiences that is absolutely worth every dollar and honestly worth planning your whole Kona itinerary around. Number 3 has both free and paid options, and I want to give you a specific recommendation here. One of our favorites is we've done the Mountain Thunder Coffee Plantation Tour. And, you know, Kona coffee, it's grown on the volcanic slopes above the Kona coast, and it's amazing. It's Kona coffee. It's world-renowned. You've probably heard of it. This is where you can get it. This is where you can do the tour and see how it's all created. But really the rich volcanic soil, sunny mornings, misty afternoons, it produces a bean that's smooth, low acidity, and generally one of the best cup of coffees you'll ever have. And partly that's because the terrain is so steep and every single cherry has to be picked by hand. So there's no machines that can work along these slopes. And Mountain Thunder, it sits up on the cooler of the elevation of Kona. And the tour there is exactly the kind of experience what we really loved. It was quiet, definitely educational. It was quick. We had little kids at the time. It was definitely worth it. You'll walk through a working farm, learn the full journey from cherry to cup, and taste the coffee in the setting that actually feels like a real farm. So pretty cool. We took the family up there, loved it. It's not a flashy tourist production. It's just honest and good. So if you're watching the budget, several Kona farms offer free tours as well. But whatever you do, buy a bag of Kona coffee before you leave the island. You won't regret it. You'll see a lot of bags. Like if you live on the continental US, you go to a grocery store, it says like Kona coffee, and then you read the fine print, it says like, 10% blend or something like that. You want to get the real stuff. It's totally worth it. All right. Experience number 4 is completely free, and it's one of my personal favorites. This is the Hilo Farmers Market. Hilo is on the quote wet side of the island. It's on the lush east side of the Big Island, and the market is a full sensory experience. It runs 7 days a week, but on Wednesday and Saturdays, those are the big market days. So like 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. over 200 vendors, local farmers, food trucks, artisans, fresh tropical fruit, anything you can think of, local honey, lunches, handmade goods. It's a lot, and it's really a great way to see and feel the community of the Big Island. And really what makes it special, this isn't a market it's not built for tourists. Locals shop here, and it's a real community initiative that has been around since like the 80s, late 80s, 1988, I believe. You feel that authenticity the moment you walk in. It's just real. It's just real community vibes. So if you want to get the full experience, I want to encourage you to go early, especially on Saturdays. The best produce that does move fast. Bring cash just in case, and come hungry, because the food trucks there are not something you want to just walk past. All right, last but not least, experience number 5. And I want to frame this up really carefully. The Waipio Valley Lookout. And notice I said lookout. The road down into the valley has been restricted since 2022. And as of April 2026, it's still under an ongoing emergency declaration. So that means no private vehicles are permitted down the road. If you want to get into the valley itself, you need to book an authorized shuttle tour. So please respect that. Real people live down in the valley, and that restriction exists for a reason. But the lookout on top, you definitely want to go. It's free. It takes no special gear or planning. And what you're looking at is one of the most dramatic views in all of Hawaii. It's a deep ancient valley, taro fields on the floor, black sand beach at the bottom, sheer green walls rising on both sides, the whole thing. And this is where Hawaiian kings once lived. The cultural and the historical weight of this place is something you actually, not to get too emotional, but you feel that standing there on that lookout. So don't skip it just because you can't drive down into the valley. The lookout alone is absolutely worth the drive. It's about an hour and a half or so outside of Kona, up to the north. All right, so those are my 5 Big Island experiences I really feel are worth your time and consideration. You got Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, the Manta Ray night snorkel, do that one. Budget for it if you need to do it. Doing a coffee farm tour, highly recommend you doing that. And even if you don't want to do a tour, maybe at least go to a coffee plantation and buy a bag of real 100% Kona coffee. The next is the Hilo Farmers Market, free. It's real authentic, go early. And the Waipio Valley Lookout, stunning, free, loaded with tons of Hawaiian history. And hey, this is actually a part of a series that I've done. I think this is the last of it, where I've been going over the top 5 experiences across the island. So if you haven't already, check out episode 207 for Oahu, 213 for Maui, and episode 222 for Kauai. Each island has its own personality and its own list. Together, they'll give you, I think, a real solid foundation for whatever island you're heading to. And if this episode has helped you in your planning, I would just ask you to go ahead and let me know by leaving a rating and review, especially if you're on Apple Podcasts listening to this. So until next time, as always, my friend, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to Hawaii's Best. If you found today's episode helpful, make sure to hit follow on your podcast app so you don't miss future episodes. You can find all links and resources mentioned today in the show notes below. Hawaii's Best is produced by Shorebreak Media Group, edited by Easy Podcast Solutions, and with music by our friends Stick Figure.